Hi students, good morning. Today we are continuing our present lesson, lesson 5, the Vedic civilization. Almost half of the lesson we completed in our previous classes up to later Vedic age. In our last class we studied the later Vedic age, otherwise known as the epic age. We studied that two epics, Indian epics, Ramayana and Mahabharata, and also I hope that you read the story, brief story given there in your textbook. Majority of you know that the story of Ramayana and Mahabharata. Anyway, read that story very well. So up to that much we studied. Next is the political organization of later Vedic age. Political organization. Actually, during the later Vedic age, the Aryans they established bigger kingdoms. Kingdoms means the region under their control. Kingdoms, it was established bigger kingdoms, and kingship, that means the power of a king. Kingship, it became hereditary. Hereditary means if the person those become the king, next become his own son become the next king. That is following system is it is known as hereditary. So the kingship became hereditary, and the formation of bigger kingdoms made the king more powerful, and the kings adopted such lofty titles were adopted by the king after the throne, or after become the king. They took the titles or calling them by the people as Adiraj, Maharajadiraj and Samrat. Like that way the people called them, the king was called like that way, and they show their power and prestige used and performing different sacrifices, or otherwise known as yajna, yaga, like that way things. The most important yajnas or yagas are three: Ashwamedha yajna, Rajasuya yajna or sacrifice, and Vajapeya yajna. Remember, one by one want to study. First one is Ashwamedha yajna. Listen, during this yajna the ruler would let loose a special horse and a trained horse accompanied by soldiers for a year to wander at will. After the yajna, this horse actually the main item in this yajna. That's why Ashwa means horse. Ashwamedha yajna. The king would lay his claim over all those territories over which the royal horse moved unchallenged. Any of these rulers or other countries' rulers, if it is captured the horse or they controlled the horse, means they were declaring war upon those rulers. And it means that war between the two kingdoms. At the end of the year, the horse was sacrificed during the yajna. So that is known as Ashwamedha yajna. Once again, remember Ashwa, which means horse. The main thing it was horse. Based on a horse itself, this yajna conducted. That's why this is known as Ashwamedha yajna. Next is Rajasuya sacrifice or Rajasuya yajna. It was performed to confer supreme power on the king. It was connected with the king's consecration. Consecration means the throne, taking the throne related as and he became the king. One ceremony was there, a person became the king. That related incident it is known as Rajasuya sacrifice. Raja or Rajasuya, that's why. Next is Vajapeya yajna. The term Vajapeya is a combination of two words Vaja and Peya, which means rice and drink. Vaja means rice and Peya means drink. And both one in the meaning. As the name suggests, the Vajapeya sacrifice was believed to bring in a bountiful crop and plentiful water. So based on that, it is known as Vajapeya. And as the kings were doing this one, and during this period, the Sabha and Samiti in the early Vedic period, we studied the Sabha and Samiti that came to be dominated by chiefs and rich nobles, and women were no longer permitted to attend the assemblies. Here during this later Vedic age, the position of women were declined. Next is their social organization. In the early Vedic period, we studied that the society was divided into four: Brahmins, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudras. In the same way, it was changed. The position and status of this category were changed. The first three, Brahmins, Kshatriyas and Vaishyas. Among this, the Brahmins occupied highest position in the society because the religious ceremonies, everything become more powerful, and it was the sacrifices, everything was very powerful in the society. And these three, first three, Brahmins, Kshatriyas and Vaishyas, they entitled to Upanayana. You know what is Upanayana? It's a ceremony wearing a sacred thread crossing their body, and it's an investiture with the sacred thread according to the Vedic mantras. Actually, they are starting with the Gayatri mantra. In the last class, I told, related as first Veda, Rig Veda, and that after this Upanayana ceremony, this first three categories are starting their education. Okay, so that ceremony is known as Upanayana. And the four ashramas, the total life or total life cycle of a human being divided into four divisions. That four sections or divisions are known as ashramas. Remember, four ashramas: Brahmacharya ashrama, Grihastha ashrama, Vanaprastha ashrama, and Sannyasa. Okay, one by one I will tell. Brahmacharya was the first stage. Actually, they are telling that each ashrama has 25 years. So, the total life, expecting the total life, it is 100 years. Each ashramas are divided into 25 years. First ashrama was a person had to go to the Acharya. Acharya otherwise known as teachers. And the Gurukul. Gurukul means the teaching region, or like as our present school. They are and to receive education from here. And actually the person, those who are reaching the nearest to the Guru, they were supposed to stay in the Gurukul till his education completed. Next is the Grihastha ashrama. Actually Brahmacharya after Upanayana ceremony up to 25 years. Grihastha starting from 25 years to 50 years. Grihastha means the second stage, during which a man was allowed to lead a married life and they have children and all, the household life, that is known as Grihastha. Griha means house. Okay. Third one is Vanaprastha. Actually, the third stage starting with the 50 years to 75. A man would give up his worldly life and go to the forest to meditate. That means the previous stage of sannyasa, meditation, starting with the meditation, that period is known as Vanaprastha. And the last ashrama is known as sannyasa. It's starting from 75 years to 100 years. Actually, the last stage of life when a person was supposed to renounce all the worldly life and become an ascetic. Ascetic means sannyasi or otherwise saint, ascetic. Complete, it is completing during the period of sannyasa. Next is the family life of the later Vedic period. It was actually joint family system they followed, and the power of the head of the family, it was increased. But one thing happened during this period, the status of women declined. We studied during the early Vedic stage or period, the women occupied equal status, but here it was declined. They were no more allowed to participate in the assemblies and all. So this is the family pattern or situation during the period of later Vedic age. Remember students, four ashramas are important. The sacrifices want to study. So remember, read the textbook very well. Okay, thank you.